In this video, we're going to learn about differences of squares. So a difference of squares is a type of polynomial that has two terms, so it's a binomial. They are perfect squares, and they are being subtracted. That's what the word difference means. So this method of factoring is a shortcut, and it works when you have two terms that are perfect squares and that are being subtracted. So if I take a look at the first example, 25x squared minus 81, there are two terms. They are being subtracted, so it's a difference. 25 is a perfect square, 81 is a perfect square, and x has a square on it. So the shortcut for doing a difference of squares is that we square root the first term. So the square root of 25 is 5. Square root x squared, that's x. The square and the square root cancel out. The square root of 81, I don't do negative 81, I just do 81, is 9. So I'm going to have 5x minus 9, and then we have a second bracket that looks exactly the same, except it uses a different sign. It's 5x plus 9. So we learned this back in grade 10. So the trick is you square root the first term, square root the last term, one bracket is plus and one bracket is minus. And that's difference of squares. So if I look at the second question, I have 36x squared plus 81. Now this has two terms. It's being added, and they are perfect squares. So this is not a difference of squares. This is actually a sum of squares, and sums of squares do not factor. So this does not factor. So anytime you see one with addition, you can't factor. Okay? So there is one more example for you to try. The answers are on the front side of this page. But if you would like to see me go through the solution, I would recommend that you pause it and try it on your own first, and then unpause it and I will go through the solution. Okay, for this one, I have two terms. They are being subtracted, so it's a difference. And they are perfect squares. This is 10 squared, 7 squared, and then the x and the y both have squares on them. So what we're going to do is we are going to square root 100, which is 10. I'm going to square root x squared, which is x. I'm going to square root 49, which is 7, and square root y squared, which is y. So we're going to have two brackets that look almost identical, except the sign is different. One of them is minus and one of them is plus. Having those opposite signs is what allows all your middle terms to cancel out. And that's how you do difference of squares. So from here, there are practice questions at the bottom for you to do for homework today. All right, good luck with your factoring.